I wanted to begin my remarks by saying that it's really a great personal honor to be here, to be able to express appreciation for and admiration of Gary Gallagher. I also must say that I really value the opportunity of following John Now, who has contributed so much to the University of Virginia and who has had an intellectual vision to help shape what goes on in the liberal arts and the history and political science that's made a huge difference. I first got to know Gary in the late 1990s when I was dean of the faculty and worked hard to bring Gary Gallagher to the University of Virginia. Since then, Gary has enriched the university community by his truly astonishing productivity as a historian, the superior quality of his books and his articles, the standards of excellence he insists upon from colleagues and students alike, the visibility that Gary has earned as one of the nation's great historians of the Civil War, and the contributions that Gary has made to public understanding of the Civil War and of its mixed legacies in popular memory and public discourse. I, too, am an historian of war, diplomacy, and decision-making. And I look upon Gary's writings about the Civil War as exemplary models of historical scholarship. His books and articles and essays vividly illuminate the interactions of war and society, of popular will and high-level decision-making. In riveting descriptions of battlefronts and home fronts, and in evocative illuminations of death and destruction and heroism, Gary depicts how military events shape all aspects of civil society, as well as economic and political decision-making. Gary integrates commanders and soldiers, political leaders and individual citizens, and offers us an integrated understanding of human agency. Gary's deep scholarship and lucid prose engage readers, inspire inquiry, and generate lively debate. But Gary has done a lot more than enrich our understanding of the Civil War than through his books and his articles. Gary has illuminated how images, stories, and rhetoric shape our collective memory and influence our public discourse. He portrays how individuals embody many forms of identity, and how these forms of identity evolve in dynamic circumstances, often shaped by events no individual can control, but in turn empowering individuals to shape public life. By examining films and monuments and portraits and speeches and artifacts, Gary beautifully illuminates how public understanding of history takes shape, how it evolves, how it changes. Yet Gary's own scholarship reminds us that there is an objectivity, however elusive, that skillful historians must pursue. At the University of Virginia, Gary's courses have captured the imagination of students. He schedules one of his courses almost every semester at 8 a.m. to test the seriousness of his students' commitment. And he always attracts about 250 students, I think, to that course. And not because Gary is an easy grader. Indeed, Gary is known for his rigor, his high standards, and his obvious, sometimes too obvious, contempt for fluff. Gary forces students and colleagues to think deeply, to grapple with evidence, and to appreciate the complexity of human behavior. This is what the liberal arts are all about. In his 10 or 12 books, in his scores of edited volumes, and in Gary's renowned public lectures, he has shown that American history indeed is alive and well. He has demonstrated that serious scholars can attract a huge following from a public more eager than we think to interrogate the interweaving of culture, politics, and strategy, and from a public wanting to grasp how values and principles have shaped personal identity, national identity, and public memory. Gary, thanks for all your terrific contributions. Thanks for all you've done for the University of Virginia. And thanks for enriching the lives of all of us who love to read history. Thanks, Gary.